Yeah. Okay.
Let's
All right. And whoops, hit the wrong thing there. Can't get rid of that. Go away. Oops. Okay.
all right.
All right. So this next phase that we are talking about is really we're looking at the parking lot for Laney. And a lot of the discussion has been around how does the district begin to create some income? Looking at the budget for the state and the condition that the district and all districts around the state are in now, one of the things the district is very concerned about is how can it not be totally dependent upon funding come from the state to try to manage itself, and how are there ways that the district can create some funds for itself on an ongoing basis. One of the things the district has is property. And the parking lot at Laney, I know there's been discussion about that probably for the last 10, 15, 20 years about the parking lot at Laney, and there may be opportunities that exist to do things there. And so we're sort of memorializing some of those ideas here. One of the first things we looked at is the item number 1 here is a parking structure. Everyone knows parking is a problem. It's at a premium. There's more parking needed. It's a large parking lot. There's more parking needed for BART as well, because they don't have enough parking. So one of the thoughts is that there may be a possibility that either with BART or even with the district and another co-venturer, that a parking lot be built either on a portion or all of, and these are options, on a portion or all of the Laney parking lot that'll provide parking both for Laney College and also provide parking for whatever other uses that may come in there. And some of the other uses that we looked at is an office building as well as retail spaces that would occur along the front of this parking facility. Similar thing that's being done all over the country and all over the Bay Area now as well. And we see that as being very viable here. You've got enough students at Laney College in and of itself that need the retail functions to occur that could utilize it, as well as the surrounding community as well. So we see this as being a very viable option of what could be done as part of this parking lot.
Can you say in that spot, overall, we're looking at joint public-private partnership. There will be discussion with BAT to be able to determine whether we'll be able to establish another village here for the Merit Bus Station that will be able to be part of the overall planning. And if that were to occur, on the other side of the street where you have the parallel street to the left, we may have to do eminent domain for the homes in that area to be able to get more space to work with BAT and the community. But that is part of long-term strategic planning.
Over here.
Yes, okay.
Okay. And there's some options that exist even with this scenario. As I said, you could do, this shows only a portion of the parking lot being taken over, but it is quite viable, of course, that the whole lot could be taken over for this parking garage. Because one of the options that we look at here is, in this scenario, we are looking at adding a new building for the District Administrative Center, this per the discussion before, that would occur in this location. They would be connected, so it would not necessarily be connected to the parking lot itself. Then, in some other discussions around the Laney campus, I was going with the architects working on the Laney, there was discussion about the location of the Child Development Center, which is over here somewhere. And that one of the ideas was that the Child Development Center could be relocated over here as well. So this is an option where the Child Development Center relocates to this location. And at that point, the district office, all the district office functions move over in here. And you now have this whole parcel, shown here in color, that is an available parcel for developers and or whomever might be interested in purchasing or long-term leasing this property from the district to give the district an income stream. As well as the possibility for an income stream coming off of the parking garage, retail enterprises, and things that are occurring on this site here. So these are just, and that's why I said this is the long-term vision of what the things that could happen here. In addition, the other concept that we've talked about is that the district offices not be a separate facility, but as I've talked about earlier, that you have a larger parking garage, and the district offices becomes integrated within a larger office complex that exists on the same site. So you may have an office building, we're talking about roughly about a 6-story building here, and so the district takes 2-3 floors of that building is taken up by the district offices, as well as then the rest of it becomes lease space that's leased out for other uses as well. So those are sort of some of the ideas that we have going. And all this changes on some joint venture arrangements, of course. Then the second part of that has to do with the street. There's been much talk in the past about this street being closed, perhaps, and taking over the street, and then so you can connect and integrate the parking and the campus. And in looking at this, we thought one of the ways to address this was not to close the street, but to narrow down the street. To take the street and have the street be two lanes, one lane going this way, one lane going the other direction, and then, as you can see here, capture parking, on-street parking all the way down, the angle parking all the way down, similar to what you have on Lake Shore or Grand Avenue currently. So now you have parking on the street, you've got parking in the garages, you've got the street still goes through, but it's slowed down, which now enables you to have a better connection from the parking over to the campus, so it works better for the campus, for the students crossing the street at this point, because they're not going across now a 4-lane divided highway, where it's basically a 2-lane road that they're going across on a regular basis. So that makes it much easier from a transition for the campus. It works better for the campus. And we now also can create a plaza, an entry, more of an entrance to the campus that comes off of here and some of the future sites too. So this is the short-term view of the whole campus. When you look at, this is the, oops, I'm gonna back up a second. Again, this is what we talked about in the first scheme, and this is what we actually look like right now with the F building there. And then this is a look at one of the schemes currently with taking out making this narrowing down the street. You now have a series of street trees. You make the connection across from the parking garage area over across to the new campus. There's going to be enhancement to the entrances coming off of this side of the campus, because currently this is sort of it's the main parking lot for the campus, but it's the back end of the campus. And so one of the things we want to do is to create this to be a front of the campus. This is the other side of the campus as a front, because this campus has multiple fronts, and we want to actually acknowledge that as part of the design. So now you have some enhanced entrances on this side, and enhanced entrances here, more of a plaza entrance in this area where the kitchen portables are currently right now. They're going away, obviously. And then we have more of a plaza entrance, a plaza across the street. So it all begins to tie together and connect in terms of the overall look of the campus. Yes, ma'am.
Take a little time when you've got getting into the streets, because don't you have the city and all that has to be involved? And
Oh, yes.
you gotta really have some financial planning with that, because the city gonna wanna know all the angles, all this and that.
Yeah, the street.
That's why this is a long-term project.
The city has been discussing with the district about some of this plan. And some of it has been closing down the street altogether so that there's no traffic through. The reason why we're being soft on that aspect right now is that we want to be able to narrow down the street so that individuals that are coming across or going through using the lane between 5th Street and the Farallon will be able to see the campus, be able to know this is an educational institution here, be able to come to the college, and also be able to have a route to come to the district administrative office, not only the employees, but the general public. So because of that, that is why we want to narrow down the street, but that we can work with the city to be able to make the determination. Usually the city and the district work together in tandem to make some of these decisions. The city wants to undertake the Lake Estuary project right now.
Enhancement they're doing.
So they come to us, we make the decision about giving them some right of way to be able to do some of that. So we do complement each other with projects that we intend to do.
Yes, sir.
Bob, did you have a question?
Yeah,
Oh.
I have a concern about the bottleneck nature of a parking structure. I mean, particularly with an education institution that has classes starting on the hour, you know, if you go out there right now at the Laney parking lot and you're there at 20 till an hour, quarter of an hour, you see cars backed up, particularly with the bottleneck developed by a parking structure and also narrowing the road itself. I can see that just being a real nightmare.
We are going to undertake the traffic study for that before that determination is made. Right now it's a proposal, but we're going to study the traffic situation with that to happen.
We definitely are. And, you know, currently you have San Jose City has a parking garage. If you've been down there, San Jose City College, they've got a parking, and it's happening. Those urban sites, urban colleges that have these kind of constrictions, as they grow, they basically have to go to a parking garage scenario in order to make it work for them, because they just don't have the land to do the surface parking. So one of the things you have to do is make sure you have enough, and you're right, enough proper circulation. You don't get bottlenecks. We're bringing the parking in off of this street, actually, where we're coming in. We're not coming in over here, off of the primary entrance here, but we do have access coming in here. So you've got a lot of throat here in terms of access to come in to get into the garage.